And we're live. Welcome everybody. I'm Cowboy Squirrel. We're gonna do some Security Plus SY0-701 Domain 2 Threats, Vulnerabilities, and Mitigations. This is gonna take me for fucking ever. It's gonna be like 10 o'clock by the time I'm done with this. But it's good. It's good for me. It's gonna take me for fucking ever. Oh gosh. It's good. That was me. Careful. Okay, let's just jump right into it, shall we? Start. Oh, wait. Hold on. There we go. Alright. Let's do this, oof. So, an international financial institution recently discovered a persistent and sophisticated cyber attack. The scale and sophistication, it's probably a nation state, the scale and sophistication of the attack suggests that the threat actor has access to significant resources. The nature of the attack indicates that the threat actor operates with an extended timeline and appears motivated by strategic advantage rather than immediate financial gain. I think it's nation state. Might be insider threat. The scale and sophistication of the attack. International financial nation attack in the case that the threat actor operates with an extended timeline and appears motivated by strategic advantage rather than immediate financial gain. I think insider threat would have been more about financial gain. I'm going nation state. Yeah, nation state actors have the advanced capabilities, significant resources, and strategic motivations to carry out the sophisticated, long-term attack the financial institution discovered. What type of threat actor is most likely to engage in cyber espionage, probably nation state again, with strategic or political motivations? Organized crime, competitors, hacktivists, or nation states? Nation states. They're all about them cyber spies, bro. James Bond. Technology. Which malicious actors are likely to show great interest in another country's energy infrastructure and have unlimited resources to carry out espionage attacks? State actors, shadow IT, semi-authorized hackers, unauthorized hackers. In another country's energy infrastructure, state actors? Is this just another way of saying nation state? Unauthorized hackers have unlimited resources, state actors. The primary goals of state actors are espionage and strategic advantage. These actors receive government backing, have virtually unlimited resources, and are known to be particular about another country's energy and health network systems. Interesting. Experts at a scientific facility suspect that operatives from another government entity planted malware and are spying on one of their top secret systems. Which attacker type is likely responsible on the attacker's location? Is likely responsible based on the attacker's location and likely goals? State actors again. Suspect that operatives from another government entity okay, we get it. State actors, nation states, typically work at arm's length from a national government that sponsors and protects them, maintaining plausible deniability. An organization systems is going to be nation state. Let's see. An organization systems alerting tool detects a series of unsuccessful attempts of someone trying to gain unauthorized access to its servers. These attempts lack sophistication and appear to be using publicly available hacking tools. It's going to be an unskilled hacker, attacker. That's your copy and paste script kiddie. Unskilled attackers, often called script kiddies, typically use widely available hacking tools and lack the knowledge to mount sophisticated attacks. The haphazard, unsuccessful attempts described are characteristics of this type of threat actor. I'd consider myself a script kiddie still. I'm just a copy paste monster. Which type of threat actor is most likely to initiate random, unsophisticated cyber attacks, often utilizing readily available hacking tools without a clear understanding of how they work? That's me. That's me. I'm the unskilled attacker. Unskilled attackers, also known as script kiddies, commonly use widely available hacking tools without fully understanding them. Their attacks are often random and lack sophistication. Which of the following threat actors seeks to defame, shed light on, or cripple an organization or government? That would be a hacktivist. Shed light on means like to expose, and defame. Oh, it might be a competitor. Wait, or cripple an organization or government. No, it's a hacktivist. It's got to be a hacktivist. Hacktivist is an individual who attacks are politically motivated instead of seeking financial gain. The shed light on. Hacktivists want to defame, shed light on, or cripple an organization or government. Hacktivists often work alone. Occasionally, they create unified groups with like-minded hackers. For example, the website leakyweeks.org is a repository of leaked government secrets, some of which have been obtained by hacktivists. A prominent multinational corporation has experienced an unexpected spike in unauthorized network traffic aimed at its web servers. Upon investigation, the corporation discovered that the goal of this traffic was to disrupt competitors. No competitors? Disrupt its online services rather than gain unauthorized access or steal data. The attacker started shortly after the corporation made a controversial policy decision that sparked a public backlash. That would be a hacktivist again. That's someone that's so pissed off at what's going on that they're just going to hack your shit. The objective of the attacker, disruption of online services following a controversial policy decision, aligns with the typical motives of a hacktivist. Hacktivists often use their skills to promote a social or political cause, which is the most likely reason of this attack. A globally recognized fast food chain recently experienced a cyber attack. The attackers have not shown interest in stealing sensitive data or disrupting operations, but have defaced the company's website with messages promoting animal rights. That's another hacktivist. And ethical treatment of livestock. Based on this information, it's a hacktivist. Meat is murder. Hacktivists use their skills to promote a social or political cause. The attacker's objective, in this case, defacing a website to promote animal rights, aligns with the typical hacktivist's motives. An environmental advocacy group uses cyber weapons, hacktivists, to put companies at risk and promote its agenda. This scenario illustrates what type of threat actor. Again, hacktivists. They're not really randomizing these. Talking about environmental advocacy groups, cyber weapons, companies at risks. Sounds like a hacktivist to me. Hacktivists use cyber weapons to promote an agenda, steal confidential information, perform denial of service attacks, or deface websites. Environmental and animal advocacy groups may target companies in various industries. Hacktivist. The IT manager in your organization proposes taking steps to deflect a potential threat actor. The proposals include the following: create and follow onboarding and offboarding procedures, employ the principles of least privilege, might be insider, have appropriate physical security controls in place. Which type of threat actor do these steps guard against? That would be an insider. Because insiders are one of the most dangerous and overlooked threats to an organization, you need to take the appropriate steps to protect against them, such as requiring mandatory vacations to see if any anomalies stop, creating and following onboarding and offboarding procedures. Very true, very true. Employing the principles of least privilege, and having appropriate physical security controls in place. I like that mandatory vacations one, because if you think someone's stealing from you, right, well, put them on a vacation, and then if while they're gone and they're not stealing, I think you just found your thief. What happened? I know, dude. I'm gonna be here forever, but it's okay. I gotta do this. I have to do this if I want to pass this test. I might as well do it online, hang out with people, or at least make some content that people could rewatch if they want to. What type of threat actor is an individual or group with unauthorized access to an organization's system and data that can potentially misuse access for malicious purposes? Individual or group with authorized access to an organization's systems. That would be an insider threat. I always like thinking of insider threats as unintentional, like oopsies as well. But I haven't seen a lot of that in Security Plus, where they always make insider threats like malicious people rather than like the oopsie daisy people. What type of threat actor will attempt to exploit their authorized access, an insider threat, within an organization for revenge or financial gain? Insider threats are individuals or groups with authorized access to organization systems and data. They could potentially misuse their access for malicious purposes. Insider threats can include employees, contractors, or any other individuals granted internal access. An employee suspected of modifying company invoices diverted funds from a company account to their private bank account. Nice, dude. It's an insider threat. You got caught. Insider threats are employees who labor grievances or perpetuate fraud. An insider threat might plan and execute a campaign to modify invoices and divert funds. What type of threat actor is most likely to engage in cybercrime activities such as financial fraud, blackmail, or extortion for profit, and often operates across the internet from a different jurisdiction than their victims? That, I think, out of all these would be organized crime. Organized crime groups are often involved in cybercrime activities like financial fraud, blackmail, or extortion. Seeking any opportunity for profit, they can operate across the internet from a different jurisdiction with their victims, increasing the complexity of prosecution. The IT department at a large corporation noticed an unfamiliar software application running on its networks. Upon investigation, they discovered that a team in the marketing department started using a new Shadow IT. It's going to be Shadow IT. Using a new cloud-based project management tool to improve their workflow efficiency. The team did consult with the IT department before implementing this tool. Oh, wait a minute. In the context of cybersecurity threats, what does this situation best exemplify? The IT department noticed an unfamiliar software application running on its network. The team did consult with the IT department. What? They're saying like, we didn't recognize this. We approved it. Well, I still think it's Shadow IT. Shadow IT refers to hardware, software, and services used within an organization without explicit approval from the IT department. This scenario describes where the marketing team started using a new project management tool without consulting the IT department. Did they mean to say the team did not consult? There's a classic example of Shadow IT. A threat actor successfully breached an advanced corporate network, bypassing multi-factor authentication and intricate intrusion detection systems. Wow, sounds very skilled. Highly coordinated attack leveraged zero-day vulnerabilities and sophisticated custom-made malware. I mean, it's not a novice. Intermediate, unskilled. It's advanced, dude. The description of the threat actor's actions suggests a high degree of sophistication and technical capability, usually associated with advanced threat actors. Nice. A nation-state developed cyber weapons to achieve military influence and has the ability to obtain and maintain access to compromised networks. What should a cybersecurity team address when this occurs to their organization's compromised networks? What? A nation-state developed cyber weapons to achieve military influence and has the ability to obtain and maintain access to compromised networks. What should a cybersecurity team address when this occurs to their organization's compromised networks? I guess advanced persistent threats? Advanced persistent threats are cyber nation-state adversaries that have developed cybersecurity expertise and use cyber weapons to compromise network securities and achieve military and commercial goals. Oh shit, it's crazy. Which of the following is the best definition of the term hacker? An individual who attacks are politically motivated, that's hacktivists. A general term used to describe any individual who uses their technical knowledge to gain unauthorized access to an organization. Yeah. A threat actor whose main goals is financial gain. A threat actor who lacks skills and sophistication but wants to impress their friends or garner attention, that's unskilled hacker. The most organized, well-funded, that's nation state. So it's this one. The term hacker is a general term used to describe any individual who uses their technical knowledge to gain unauthorized access to an organization. The following are a specific type of hackers, also known as threat actors. Go ahead, pause the video right there if you want. A cybersecurity analyst notices an unusual amount of data transmitted from an employee's company computer to an unknown external IP address. The employee has all necessary permissions to access externally transferred sensitive data. What type of threat actor is most likely responsible for this situation? I don't know, I gotta read that again. I would guess internal threat actor. Unusual amount of data transmitted from an employee's computer, an employee's company computer, to an unknown IP address. The employee has all necessary permissions to access externally transferred sensitive data. We're going to take a guess here. An internal threat actor is an individual with permissions on the system, typically an employer or contractor. The scenario describes an employee with legitimate access to the data transmitting it to an unknown external IP address, which suggests that the threat actor is internal. Yes. Which of the following does a threat actor need in order to support a high-level, sophisticated attack? Well, they need resource and funding. Disinformation, system permissions, data exfiltration. Resource and funding. A high level of capability must be supported by resource and funding. Sophisticated threat actor groups need to be able to acquire resources such as customized attacks, tools, and skilled strategies. Designers, coders, hackers, and social engineers. The most capable threat actor group receive funding from nation, state, and organized crime. Cool. Okay, a targeted attack has a budget that can allocate physical and human resources to achieve its goals. This type of attack contains what attribute? A target attack has a budget that can allocate physical and human resources to achieve its goal. That sounds like sophistication. What type of attack contains this attribute? Sophistication. You got a good budget. You got human resources. Doesn't seem opportunistic. One must consider an adversary's sophistication and level of resources and funding. A targeted attack might use highly sophisticated tools backed by a budget that can allocate physical and human resources. What type of attack takes content from a local system, encrypts it, and sends it to the attacker's server via HTTP over port 80? What type of attack takes content from a local system, encrypts it, and sends it to the attacker's server? Probably data exfiltration. Data exfiltration is an unauthorized copying or retrieval of data from a system. Data exfiltration attacks are primary means for attackers to retrieve valuable data, often destined for later sale on the black market. A threat actor can infiltrate an organization's network and silently extract sensitive proprietary data without detection. The data has a high value on the black market. Okay, data exfiltration. We just did that, right? Revenge, disinformation, service disruption. No, it's data exfiltration. Transfers a copy of valuable information from a computer or network without authorization. Threat actors might perform this type of theft because they want the data assets for themselves, can exploit its losses, blackmail, or sell it to a third party. A multinational corporation recently fell victim to a series of cyber attacks, disrupting services and leading to significant financial losses. Okay, so we have disrupting services, financial losses. After an investigation, the corporation found that these attacks were part of a systematic campaign to undermine the corporation's market position. The highly sophisticated attack suggests the involvement of well-resourced entity with specific strategic objectives. Which are the following motivations? Probably revenge or espionage. Systematic campaign sounds like a revenge thing. Like, you know, you're planning your revenge. You got your campaign going. It's got to be revenge. Oh, come on. It was espionage? A systematic campaign. That just sounds like revenge type stuff to undermine the corporation's market position. Anyways, espionage characterizes by stealthy long-term breaches, aims at acquiring secret information, often for strategic advantage. The intruders focus on the proprietary designs, and their ability to remain undetected aligns with this motivation. Revenge motivations typically involve a disgruntled individual seeking retaliation, almost like if they're starting a systematic campaign. This scenario does not provide evidence of personal grievance or individual retaliation. I don't know. A healthcare provider suddenly receives a threat from an unknown source, claiming to have obtained sensitive patient data. Sounds like blackmail. The anonymous actor demands a significant sum of Bitcoin, threatening to release the information publicly if the provider does not make payment. That is blackmail. Blackmail involves threats to reveal damaging information unless the affected party meets the blackmailer's demands, such as demanding Bitcoin for not releasing stolen patient data. Fucking Bitcoin. In a recent incident, a hacker group infiltrated a global financial institution system and stole the credit card information of millions of customers. The valuable information was soon available on the dark web. Based on this scenario, what is the most likely motivation of the hacker group? Financial gain. Credit card information, valuable information, soon available on the dark web. Philosophical beliefs? Oh yes, of course. We hate Visa. We hate Discover. Service disruption, ethical concerns. I'm going to go with financial gain. Financial gain is a key motivator for many threat actors. In this scenario, the hacker group's main goal was to profit from the sale of stolen credit cards information, which indicates financial gain as the primary motivation. A multinational corporation recently fell victim to a series of cyber attacks, disrupting services and leading to significant financial losses. After an investigation, the corporation found that these attacks were part of a systematic campaign. Oh, here we go again. No espionage, but we have revenge to undermine the corporate's market position. The highly sophisticated attack suggests the involvement of well-resourced entities. What the hell's going on here? Which of the following motivations? Is it political? Multinational corporation recently fell victim to a series of something financial after an investigation found to undermine the corporation's market position. Well-resourced entities with specific strategic objectives. Which of the following motivations best describes this scenario? I swear, if it is revenge, I'm going to be pissed, because that's like literally the same question. Political. Okay. Political motivations typically involve strategic objectives to bring about change or achieve specific goals, often at a social, societal, or governance level. This scenario's systematic, strategic, and sophisticated attacks and the intent to undermine the corporation's market position suggest a political motivation. I don't know. It just sounds like revenge to me. A group of threat actors disrupts the online services of an oil company due to their disagreement with the company's environmental policies. That sounds political to me. They believe their actions can force the company to change its practices. That sounds political to me. The group, motivated by their philosophical beliefs about environmental responsibility, use their actions to bring about change in line with these beliefs. A group of people lost their jobs after their company filed for bankruptcy. These employees formed a closed hacktivist group to fashion a zero-day exploit targeting specific Windows operating systems on the company network. Well, that's definitely revenge. They will use internal influences to get the exploit onto the network. Which of the following factors will greatly influence the success of this attack? Revenge for hardship, formal colleague assistance, criminal gang threats, nation-state influence, political motivations. Maybe that one? Formal colleague assistance. I don't know what that is. I didn't know what formal colleague assistance meant. Personal hardship after losing a job can motivate carrying out a revenge attack and seeing it through to the end. Revenge is a common motivator for insider threats. Former colleagues who still work for the company are a good resource to influence and insert a zero-day exploit onto the network. These colleagues may want to help because they are sympathetic towards the employees who lost their job. Former colleague assistants. Oh, man, that's really digging deep into the story. Maybe they should have added some more into that question. A major online retailer experiences a sudden halt in its services during the peak holiday shopping season. It traces the cause back to an orchestrated distributed denial of service attack, which overwhelmed service disruption, which overwhelmed the retailer's services with traffic, making it impossible for legitimate users to access the site. This attack best aligns with which type of threat motivation? Service disruption. Service disruption attacks aim to prevent an organization from operating normally. In this case, the distributed DDoS attack disrupted the retailer's services. A recent cyber attack led to massive disruptions in a country's power grid, causing widespread blackouts and significant economic and social damage. The country's cyber team traced the attack to a hostile nation state's cyber warfare division. That's crazy. In this case, what is the primary motivation of the proprietors, the perpetrators? That would be war. Ethical concerns, financial gain, war, level of sophistication. What is the primary motivation? War. I would think it's war. War. What is it good for? In this case, the hostile nation state attacked to cause widespread disruption and damage. A common objective is warfare. Yeah, it even says right here, cyber warfare. Such as acts are part of the broader strategy of using cyber means to achieve military and political objectives. A hacker scans hundreds of IP addresses randomly on the internet until they find an exploited target. What kind of attack is this? That sounds opportunistic to me. In this scenario, the hacker is looking for an easy target and doesn't care what they are attacking. This is considered an opportunistic attack. That's what I would consider myself to be. Kind of like an opportunistic script kiddie. An organization's receptionist received a phone call from an individual claiming to be a partner in a high-level project and requesting sensitive information. The individual is engaging in which type of social engineering? Common ground. We're a high-level wait. We're claiming to be a partner. We're a partner. We got some common ground here. Wait, hold on. Partner in a high-level project requesting sensitive information. I think it's common ground. It's not social proof or urgency. It might be authority because of a high-level project, but I think it's common ground. Oh, are you serious? Come on. It was authority? Authority social engineers entails an attacker either lying about having authority or using their high status in a company to force victims to actions that exceed their authorization level. Dang, I knew it was going to either be one of those two. Claiming to be a partner in a high-level project. Whatever. As a security officer in a large corporation, you receive an email from an unknown sender claiming to be a high-ranking executive from another branch of your company. See, that would trigger authority to me. The email states that due to a sudden surge in demand for your company's product, there is a shortage of supply. The sender requests immediate access to your inventory data to assess the situation and promises a significant bonus for your prompt cooperation. The sender also mentions that this is a confidential matter and should not be discussed with anyone else. What would be the best response in this scenario? Respond to the sender asking for more details about the situation. Report the email to your supervisor and the IT department without responding to the sender. Ignore the email or immediately provide the requested data. Nah. You're going to report that email. Reporting the email to your supervisor and the IT department without responding to the sender is the best response. The email has several red flags that suggest it could be a social engineering attack. The sender is unknown, the request is urgent, confidential, and involves access to sensitive data. The promise of a bonus is a form of scarcity technique. It's important to report such incidents to your supervisor and IT department for further investigation. You are a cybersecurity analyst at a large organization. You have been tasked with identifying the most secure method of communication to mitigate the risk of message-based vectors. Which of the following methods would be most efficient? Email, instant messaging, short message services, or web and social media? Well, I guess email. Out of all those, Emails usually come with digital certificates. There's a bit of authenticity. You might get some warnings on your email saying, hey, watch out, this might be spam, or this might be considered junk mail. What? How is it instant messaging? You've been tasked with identifying the most secure method of communication to mitigate the risk of message-based vectors. Many instant messaging platforms offer end-to-end encryption. Oh, they do. That's true. WhatsApp offers end-to-end encryption, which means that only the sender and the recipient can read the messages. So this makes it more difficult for attackers to intercept and read messages, making instant messaging the most secure method of communication in the list. Damn, I thought it was email. I mean, what if the attacker is emailing you and pulling some social engineering tricks? I feel like there's more metadata within email that you can kind of question things on. But I know where they're coming from with the end-to-end encryption. That's true. Instant messaging does offer that. As a senior IT professional, you are tasked with securing your company's file system. The company has a large number of employees who need to access various files and documents for their work. Which of the following strategies would be the most effective in ensuring both security and accessibility of the file? Implement full disk encryption on all company computers. Disable all unused services on company computers. Use a VPN for all data transfers within the company, or create shared folders with appropriate access permissions. I like that one. I like that one. Creating shared folders with appropriate access permissions is the most effective strategy in this scenario. This allows employees to access the files they need while still maintaining security. Access permissions can be set according to the principle of least privilege, ensuring that employees only have access to the files they need for their work. A hacktivist group is intercepting multiple emails between a company and a few vendors, companies and a few vendors, and has learned that the company is planning to purchase new laptops and some universal serial bus thumb drives. In what ways can the group breach the target company most effectively? Add malicious USB drives? Definitely. Infiltrate the shipping company? Maybe. Obtain credentials for remote access to the network? Create a fake social media account? Or steal an employee's laptop? Infiltrate the shipping company? Planning to purchase new laptops. What happens if you infiltrate the shipping company? You can implant malware in all of the laptops. Infiltrating the shipping company takes advantage of the supply chain. Yes. In this manner, malicious actors can replace parts of the laptop or hack the operating system before it gets to the company. Adding malicious USB thumb drives to the order is taking advantage of removable media to trick the users into plugging them into the computer, where the hacker can carry out further attacks. Cloud Secure is facing a cybersecurity challenge where some of its critical software applications are no longer supported by vendors, making them vulnerable to potential exploits. The IT team is exploring various strategies to mitigate the risk posed by these unsupported apps. What is the most effective approach to enhance the security posture? Ignore the vulnerability. You don't want to do that. Isolate the unsupported apps from other systems to reduce the attack surface, maybe. Consolidating all operating systems and applications into one product. I don't know about that. Implementing regular patch management to fix the faulty code. But you can't do that. We already said that the Critical software applications are no longer supported. I'm going with isolating. Isolating the unsupported apps from other systems helps to prevent threat actors from accessing the vulnerable app and running exploit code, thus acting as a compensating tool. Which of the following best describes an evil twin? A Bluetooth device that receives mobile phone commands via blue bugging. A threat agent that marks the outside of buildings to indicate the presence of wireless networking. An access point that is added to a network by an internal employee to provide unauthorized network access, or an access point configured to mimic a valid access point to obtain login credentials. And I like that one. This is rogue access point, and this is evil twin. An evil twin is a rogue access point configured to mimic a valid access point. In contrast, a rogue access point is an unauthorized access point added to a network. The evil twin may be configured to prompt for credentials, allowing the attacker to steal those credentials or use them in a man-in-the-middle attack to connect to the valid wireless access points. War chalking and blue bugging, they don't really explain that one. What type of attack is WEP extremely vulnerable to? Initialization vector attacks? Maybe evil twins? It's one of these two. Evil twin or initialization vector? I think it's initialization vector. Wired equivalent privacy is extremely vulnerable to initialization vector attacks because WEP reuses the IVs. This makes it easy for attackers to crack them and compromise the encryption. You are the security analyst for your organization. Clients are complaining about being unable to connect to the wireless network. After looking into the issue, you have noticed short bursts of high-intensity radio frequency signals are interfering with your wireless network's signal. Which type of attack are you most likely experiencing? Sounds like a jamming. Oh, might be disassociation. Let me see again. Hold on. After looking into the issue, you have noticed that short bursts of high-intensity radio frequency signals are interfering with your wireless network signal. Clients are complaining about being unable to connect to the wireless network. Damn, it might be disassociation or jamming. Short bursts of high-intensity radio frequencies. I'm going to go with disassociation because of short bursts. I think jamming just jams the shit. Like, you just can't do anything about it. It might be jamming. It was jamming. Fuck. A disassociation attack occurs when a user is tricked into giving a fake router responsibility for forwarding packets? What? That's what disassociation means? In a jamming attack, a transmitter is tuned to the same frequency and type of modulation as the wireless network. The jamming signal overrides the legitimate wireless radio network radio signals. This scenario is sparked by jamming. Damn it. I should have just went with my gut on that one, but I overthought it. Disassociation attack occurs when a user is tricked into giving a fake router responsibility for forwarding packets. Really? Your company's security policy states that wireless networks that wireless networks are not to be used because of the potential security risk they present to your network. One day you find that an employee has connected a wireless access point to the network in his office. What type of security risk is this? A rogue access point? A A rogue access point is an unauthorized access point added to the network, or it is an access point that is configured to mimic a valid access point. Examples include this. Cool. A user contacts a company's help desk complaining about intermediate connection problems to needed network files and shares. The user also noticed connection problems occur when the network signal strength is at its highest. What could this be a sign of? Wait a minute. What? A user contacts a company help desk complaining about intermediate connection problems to needed network files and shares. The user also noticed connection problems occur when network signal strength is at its highest. What could this be a sign of? Rogue access points and... gosh, I don't know. Wireless denial of service? Downgrade attack? Wireless replay or an RFID attack? Okay, well, I don't think it's that one. Maybe it's this one? Occur when signal strength is at its highest. Wireless replay? I'm gonna have to read the, I don't know. I think it's those two. Oh, I got it right. A rogue access point allows a person with malicious intent to place a rogue access point with a higher power to capture users and passwords without getting caught immediately. A wireless denial of service attack causes network problems by not allowing users access to legitimate access points due to the rogue access point's higher signal strength. A wireless replay attack aims to capture the hashes used when a wireless station associates with an access point. Then the hash gets subjected to attacks to crack the encryption. It does not impact wireless access. Then the hash gets subjected to attacks to crack the encryption. So it's like stealing the hash. And then a downgrade attack attempts to make a server or client use a lower specification protocol with weaker ciphers and key lengths. It does not impact wireless access. What technique does the threat actor use in a Bluetooth network attack to transmit malicious files to a user's device? Spoofing a trusted access point to gain unauthorized access, obtaining credentials from remote access to the network, physically stealing a PC or laptop to execute the attack, or exploiting vulnerabilities or misconfigurations in the Bluetooth protocol. I guess that's the only one that made sense there. In a Bluetooth network, the threat actor exploits vulnerabilities or misconfigurations in the Bluetooth protocol to transmit a malicious file to a user's device. Which of the following sends unsolicited business cards and messages to a Bluetooth device? That would be bluejacking. Pretty sure it's bluejacking. Bluejacking is a relatively harmless practice that entails an unknown sender sending business cards anonymously to a Bluetooth recipient within a distance of 10 to 100 meters. Depending on the class of the Bluetooth device, the business cards usually include a flirtatious message so the attacker can see a visual reaction from the recipient. Multiple messages are sent to the device if the attacker thinks there is a chance they will be added as a contact. Bluetooth devices are not susceptible to bluejacking if they are set to not discoverable mode. Which of the following best describes blue snarfing? Blue snarfing is executing commands on a mobile device. I think so. Viewing calendar, emails, and messages on mobile devices without authorization. Sending anonymous electronic business cards, or cloning a mobile device. I think it's this one. Blue snarfing is more of like taking control of the device. Fuck! It was viewing calendar, emails, and messages on a mobile device without authorization. So then what? Oh, blue bugging. Blue bugging gives an attacker access to mobile phone commands that use Bluetooth technology. I thought that was blue snarfing. Blue snarfing is the use of Bluetooth connection to gain unauthorized access to an existing Bluetooth connection between phones, desktops, laptops, or PDAs. Are PDAs still a thing? Dude, are PDAs still a thing? Every fucking picture I'm looking at on Google Images is like old school shit. Blue snarfing allows access to view the calendar, emails, text messages, and contact lists. Many Bluetooth devices have built-in features to prevent blue snarfing, but it is still a known vulnerability. So blue snarfing is about just like snooping, blue snooping, and then blue jacking is about executing. I got that mixed up. A large hospital uses Bluetooth technology for short-range personal area networking. The organization has a security concern with blue snarfing. What is the attacker doing to the organization? Well, blue snarfing. He's stealing info. He's stealing information from someone else's phone by using and exploiting Bluetooth. Launching highly effective attacks. No, that's blue bugging. Compromising an active and unpatched system. And that's blue jacking. Compromising an active and unpatched system regardless. I don't know what that one is. It's stealing info. What is this one? Blueborn. Blueborn is an exploit that compromises an active and unpatched systems. God, there's so much blue happening, dude. How much stuff do I have to remember about fucking Bluetooth? A threat actor gains physical access to an organization's premises and attempts to perpetuate an attack on the wired network. What specific threat vector associated with unsecured networks is likely used by the threat actor in this scenario? Probably default credentials. Direct access. Oh, wait. Oh, gains physical access to an organization's premises and then attempts to. Yeah, so the attack vector here is direct access. The threat actor gains physical access to the site, making the direct access threat vector the most relevant choice, as it involves using physical access to perpetuate an attack, such as accessing an unlocked workstation or stealing a PC. Which of the following tools can help be used to view and modify DNS server information in Linux? That would be dig. The dig command is used to view and modify DNS settings. These tools can be used to look up DNS server information and give IP addresses and domain names for the network server. In the context of network monitoring, which of the following is crucial for enforcing and maintaining the security measures put in place during the hardening process? In the context of network monitoring. Hardening process. I don't know. This question's confusing me for some reason. In the context of network monitoring, which of the following is crucial for enforcing and maintaining the security measures put in place during the hardening process? Packet routing, IP scanning, Network monitoring. I guess IP scanning. That's the only one that sounds like monitoring to me. Oh, in the context of network monitoring, which of the following is crucial for enforcing and maintaining security measures put in place during... It was endpoint hardening. Endpoint hardening is the correct answer. It refers to the process of securing individual devices on a network endpoints against threats. Network monitoring plays a vital role in endpoint hardening as it helps to enforce and maintain the security measures put in place during the hardening process. It can detect changes that weaken the hardened configuration and alert analysts of the change, which may indicate a breach. Yeah, endpoint hardening. Hey, what's up? Brittany, what's up? Just stopping by to say hi. I know nothing of what you're doing. It's all good. Yeah, I'm just doing like some online studying, and you know, anybody who's interested in rewatching it, you know, they can rewatch it on their own little study adventures. I'm just a cowboy squirrel. Hope everything's going good with you. Happy Friday. Alright, a tech startup, Tech Pioneers Inc., is looking to improve their network monitoring capabilities. The company operates primarily on Linux-based systems and requires a tool that can not only check connectivity but also analyze targets to gather information. The tool should be capable of sending ICMP, TCP, UDP, and raw IP packets. As a network administrator, which of the following tools would you recommend as the best solution for Tech Pioneers Inc.? I don't know, I can't think. Maybe I'll learn a thing or two. Yeah, maybe. The company operates primarily on Linux-based systems and requires a tool that can not only check connectivity but also analyze targets to gather information. I don't know. I don't know what this one is. The tool should be capable of sending ICMP, TCP, UDP, and raw IP packets. Netstat? HPing. There's too much background sound. It's like bugging me. There's like phones ringing and people yelling and... Fuck. HPing is the best solution for Tech Pioneers Inc. HPing can check connectivity and also analyze the target to gather information. It can send ICMP... Alright, whatever. HPing, I'm probably not going to get a question like that on the test. I doubt it. You want to identify all devices on a network along with a list of open ports. You want to identify all devices on a network along with a list of open ports on those devices. You want the results displayed in a graphical diagram. Which tool should you use? Oh, fuck, dude. I don't know. You want to identify all devices on a network along with a list of open ports of those devices. Is it this oval? Graphical diagram. Network mapper. Network mapper sounds like a graphical diagram. Or maybe it's this oval. Port scanner or oval? Along with open ports of those devices. I am literally just blanking. I was doing good for like the first 50, now I'm blanking. Oval. Fuck, it was network mapper. A network mapper is a tool that can discover devices on a network that show devices in graphical representations. What is oval? Open vulnerability and assessment language is an international standard for testing, analyzing, and reporting the security vulnerabilities. Oh, you were right, Brittany. It was Network Mapper. I gotta take a break. Like, there's like people just yelling in my house and it's driving me nuts. I'm gonna take a break. Nice job. My test is on. Well, I got my voucher for my test, so my test is really whenever I decide to take it. But I'd like to take it sometime next weekend. So I got this week, and I got next week, and then that's it. Then it's time to take it. Okay, I think everyone's done yelling. Let's see. So it was Network Mapper. Oh man, they're throwing some ones that I didn't really study. You need to check network connectivity from your computer to a remote computer. Which of the following tools would be the best option to use? You need to check connectivity from your computer to a remote computer. Would that be traceroute? Or would that be route? Or traceroute? Or route? Network connectivity. I feel like you can use ping too. Network connectivity from your computer to a remote computer. I'm gonna go with ping. It was ping! The ping command is used to perform a connection test between two network devices. It works by sending ICMP packets to a specified device on the network and waiting for a response. This shows if there is a connection issue or not. Oh gosh. CryptoCloud is expanding its business and is considering outsourcing its IT resources to a managed service provider to improve efficiency and reliability. Which of the following statements about managed service providers and their role in the supply chain are correct? Select 2. Managed service providers primarily focus on providing support for IT resources such as networks, security, or web infrastructure. Managed service providers are only suitable for large enterprises with extensive IT infrastructure and are not recommended for smaller businesses. Managed service providers handle the end-to-end process of designing, manufacturing, distributing goods and services. Managed service providers may introduce a complex security challenge as monitoring their employees can be difficult, or managed service providers involves receiving an attachment or viewing an image on a web page which triggers an exploit. That one sounded good. Focus on providing support for IT resources. I guess that one too. Ooh. Managed service providers may introduce a complex security challenge as monitoring their employees can be difficult. Yeah. Ping and traceroute sound right. Hey, you know your stuff, don't you? Brittany? I don't know. You sound like you know what's going on here. You did say that you know nothing of what I'm doing, but I beg to differ. Alright, well now I'm just bombing these. Let's see. As a new IT manager at TechCorp, you are tasked with onboarding a third-party vendor that will provide critical IT services. During the onboarding process, you discover that the vendor's security policies and incident response procedures are significantly different from those of TechCorp. What should you do? Discuss the differences with the vendor and seek to align the policies and procedures. I mean, that sounds good. Cancel the onboarding process, ignore, or report. I mean, just discuss it. When differences in security policies and procedures are identified, the best course of action is to discuss these differences with the vendor. The goal should be to align the policies and procedures as closely as possible to ensure the security of both organizations. As a cybersecurity analyst, you are tasked with reducing the supply chain attack surface in your organization. Which of the following areas should you focus on to most effectively mitigate this risk? Vendor management, internal IT infrastructure, customer data protection, employee training. It would be vendor management. Vendor management is the correct answer. The supply chain attack surface is often increased by third-party vendors who access your organization's systems or data. By focusing on vendor management, including conducting regular security audits and enforcing strict security standards, you can significantly reduce the supply chain attack surface. Yeah, you were right. It was the first one. Nice. A group of hackers has been monitoring recent orders from a company involving new laptops and universal serial bus thumb drives. The group infiltrated the shipping company and added a malicious USB drive to the order. The target company received the order without any concerns. What vectors made this attack successful? That would be supply chain and removable media. Infiltrating the shipping company takes advantage of the supply chain. Malicious actors can replace parts of the laptop or hack the operating system before it gets to the company. Adding malicious USB thumb drives to the order takes advantage of removable media to trick the users into plugging them into the computer where the hacker can carry out further attacks. A recent attack on a major retail chain resulted in stolen customer private information, including credit card information. The report explained that a heating, ventilation, and air conditioning (HVAC) contractor copied the information to an external hard drive while servicing an air conditioner unit and later uploaded the data to a cloud storage resource. A security engineer would classify this type of attack as which of the following? Would that be USB cable attack? It's not a supply chain attack. Cloud-based? I think they're trying to trick you with cloud-based. I mean, the dude came in and he used an external hard drive while servicing an air conditioning unit and later uploaded the data to the cloud storage service resources. The type of attack sounds USB-ish to me. Oh, how's it supply chain attack? Is this like a new HVAC system? A recent attack on a major retailer. The report explained that the HVAC contractor copied the information. Oh. See, I'm thinking some dude's coming to the store to fix the HVAC, but I think what they were trying to get to with this question is that we ordered the HVAC, right? Copied the information. The report explained that he copied the information while servicing an air conditioning unit and later uploaded the data to a cloud storage. How's that supply chain? A supply chain attack involves a threat actor seeking methods to infiltrate a company in its supply chain. An HVAC supplier is one of the examples using a maintenance service. Oh, I see what's going on. So this was actually like, this was a spy, dude. He wasn't actually a an HVAC technician. He was a spy. I see what's going on. Which of the following attacks? Yeah, I thought it was USB 2, Brittany. No, I got confused. Which of the following attacks tricks victims into providing confidential information, such as identity information or login credentials, through emails or websites that impersonate an online entity that the victims trust? That would be... Is that pretexting? Or is that just phishing? I think it's just phishing. Yeah, a mole. It was a mole the whole time. That's why it was supply chain. I think this one is phishing. It just sounds like phishing to me. Phishing tricks the victims into providing confidential information, such as identity information, login credentials through emails or websites that impersonate an online entity that the victim trusts. These entities could include financial institutions or well-known e-commerce sites. Phishing is a specific form of social engineering. Yep. You were right. Phishing. There might be a delay, but you still got it. Customers receive a seemingly genuine email from their trusted bank informing them that their passwords need updating. However, when authenticating, an attacker captures the customer's credentials. What kind of attack did the bank customers experience? Well, it's an email. Received a seemingly genuine email from their trusted bank informing that they need a change. When authenticating, so it would be phishing again. It's not whaling. It's not vishing, and it's not smishing. Is that how you spell smishing? Phishing is a combination of social engineering and spoofing, where the attacker sets up a spoofed website to intimidate a trusted one. The attacker then emails users of the genuine website, informing them that their accounts need updating and supplying a distinguished link that leads to their spoofed site. Users then authenticate with the spoofed site, capturing their login credentials. Those bastards. I am the security. What happened? Who's clubbing seals? I guess, I don't know, the hackers are. Yep, it was phishing again. Alright, let's see if you can get this one, Brittany. I'll let you answer this one first. An employee receives an email from an unknown sender claiming to be from the IT department. The email states that there is a login issue on the network and that the user needs to run the file to resolve the problem. The executable file prompts the user to input a network password which the threat actor records. What social engineering tactic is the threat actor using in this scenario? Farming, tailgating, phishing, or vishing? Smishing is SMS, SMS texting. So you know how like when you're texting someone, when you trick someone through text message, you're doing smishing. It's kind of like smashing, but a different form of smashing. Oh, the whalers. Oh, yeah. Oh, I gotcha. Whaling. Yeah, the mother freaking whalers. I smashed my finger on Tuesday and got 7 stitches. Oh, shit. Really? Damn, bro. What'd you do? Did your finger get caught between the gears? At the boiler room? You think it's farming? I honestly think it's phishing again. I think they're trying to trick us and they're giving us a bunch of phishing ones in a row. Let's see who's right. Farming or fishing? Fishing! So farming involves redirecting users to a fake website and hijacking the domain name services. There's no indication of farming since the employee received an email with an executable file to obtain a password. I almost passed out. Dude, I would pass out too. Holy shit. What is the term for a phishing attack conducted through a voice channel, such as a phone? That's vishing. Just think of V for voice. Vishing. Vishing is a type of phishing attack that uses which kind of vector? A voice or telephone? Final answer. Which of the following social engineering attacks uses voice over IP, VoIP, to gain sensitive information? That would also be phishing, because we're still talking about phones. A representative at a company reports receiving numerous unsolicited phone calls seeking banking information for a credit report. Which social engineering variant is the finance director experiencing? It's still vishing. We're still on the vishing. A text message. Oh, that's all I need to read. Text message. Smishing. It's got to be smishing. A text message. Purporting. Am I an idiot? What is that word? Purporting to be from a user's bank requests the recipients to click on a link to verify a recent transaction and provide security details. That's smishing. Anytime you get those text messages that people are like, click here to track your package, or click here to get your bonus or whatever, don't do it. Which disinformation/misinformation tactics create convincing brand impersonation for phishing attacks or farming websites? So, by accurately duplicating a company's logos and formatting, such as fonts, colors, and styles, to make the fake site visually compelling? Yeah, I mean, that sounds good. Repeating false claims or rumors without the intention to deceive others, but aiming to get those false facts amplified by others, that would be misinformation. Primarily focusing on providing support for IT resources such as network securities or web infrastructure. I don't know about that one. Using disinformation to purposely deceive individuals by spreading false claims and rumors with the intention of causing confusion and harm, or by mimicking the style or tone of email communications or websites copied to create a convincing fake. I feel like it's that one. So they told us about misinformation. This is disinformation. This is just something random. Which misinformation tactics create convincing brand impersonation for phishing attacks or farming websites? There you go. It's those two. Disinformation, misinformation campaigns utilize accurate duplications of a company's logos and formatting to appear more legitimate. Using a mimicry. Using a mimicry of communication styles creates convincing brand impersonations. This mimicry can lead to successful phishing attacks or farming websites that appear visually compelling and authentic. Ooh. Yeah, you were right. It was the first one. First one and last one. We had to select two. What'd you say, Dave? You can't attack the watering hole. That's where I get wasted. Dude, that's the whole point of the watering hole. If you can't infiltrate a company, you just go where everybody goes at the end of the day, which is where they get wasted. That's where you attack the CEO. Trudeau is full of misinformation. I bet, dude. So is Biden. Biden is like on the same level now. Now I feel your pain, Dave. Biden has been such an idiot for like the last 4 years. And God forbid he gets another 4, or we are fucked. My money will be fucked. I'll be paying $20 for burritos and $30 for a half a tank of gas, and like, it'll be horrible. Impersonation is a social engineering attack that involves which of the following? Impersonation, come on. Think of movies. Think of James Bond. Sending deceptive emails to trick users into revealing sensitive information. Manipulating the domain name systems? No. Using malware? No. Pretending to be someone else and may use persuasive or coercive approaches to manipulate the targets. Final answer. Which social engineering technique involves pretending to be someone else and may use persuasive or coercive approaches to manipulate the target? We just talked about it. It's impersonation. A social engineer intercepted an end user's phone call to an internet service provider about a home internet outage. Pretending to be the caller reporting the outage, the attacker immediately contacted the ISP to cancel the service, dressed up as an internet tech, and then approached to enter the end user's home with permission. That sounds like impersonation. Dude's going all out of his way to act like he's AT&T. 23% increase coming April 1st up here in the Great White North. A carbon BS tax. What? That's ridiculous. Yeah, that was an easy one. Impersonation. Wow, 71 of 262. We're gonna be here a while. Yeah, for real, dude. But I gotta do it, man. It's what I gotta do to pass my exam. The senior manager at CyberCorp receives an email from what appears to be a trusted colleague within the company. The email requests sensitive financial information to complete an urgent transaction and looks legitimate, displaying the colleague's name, company logo, and formatting. What type of sophisticated phishing attack occurs in this scenario? I gotta read that over again. Receives an email from what appears to be a trusted colleague. Okay. The email requests sensitive financial information to complete an urgent transaction and looks legitimate. What sophisticated phishing attack? Business email compromise, whaling, mass mailer phishing, or angler phishing? Dave, is it the angler phishing? Or is it the mass mailer phishing? I need a fisherman to tell me what's going on here. I think it's business email compromise. I've never heard of angler phishing. Mass mailer phishing? That's just sending out mass emails to everybody. I've never heard of angler phishing, Brittany. The email from what appears to be a trusted colleague from a company. So something got compromised in their domain. It looks legitimate. It's got a colleague's name, company logo, formatting. All right, well, let's see it. Let's see if it's angler or business email compromise. It was business email compromise. What is angler? Angler phishing involves using social media as a vector to deceive targets into clicking on malicious links or disclose information. Oh, that's like going on Facebook and putting in a link in like a group and saying, hey, you guys want to make $9,000 a month? Click here. That's what angler phishing is. Business email compromise is a sophisticated attack that targets specific individuals such as executives. The threat actor impersonates a trusted colleague, business partner, or vendor to trick the target into performing actions or disclosing informations. What social engineering technique occurs when a threat actor assumes the identity of a remote sales representative and contacts the help desk to urgently or authoritatively obtain login credentials for remote access? That would be pretexting. Pretexting is having an amazing story before you start tricking someone. It's a social engineering tactic where a threat actor deceives a target into sharing sensitive information. It's just like having your made-up story ready when you're going to lie to someone. The cybersecurity manager of a large organization is investigating a recent security breach that occurred during office hours. Investigatory research shows that the suspect convinced the janitor to let them inside the building because they had forgotten their badge at home. Once inside, the suspect pulled the fire alarm and accessed the building's network room among the chaos. The intruder then attached a monitoring device to a network port before escaping unnoticed. Man, this guy sounds awesome. Which of the following is the social engineering technique the threat actor employed in this scenario? That's pretexting. He tricked the janitor into letting him in. It's got to be pretexting. The threat actor used pretexting as social engineering technique. They triggered a fire alarm to create a distraction and a convincing pretext to gain physical access to the network room, attaching a monitor device to the network port. Which of the following is a passive computer attack technique in which an attacker anticipates or observes the websites an organization uses often and infects them with malware? A passive computer attack technique in which an attacker anticipates or observes the websites an organization uses. This is the watering hole. This is getting David when he gets wasted. Dave, we got you this time. It's the watering hole. A watering hole is a passive computer attack technique in which an attacker anticipates or observes the website an organization uses often and infects them with malware. Members of the targeted group can then become infected. So that's like if someone's trying to hack me on YouTube, but they can't get me on YouTube. Instead, they get me on a different website that I always go to because they found out I always go to that website. Then they hack my shit and then they get into my YouTube. Which of the following is an example of a watering hole attack? Sending deceptive emails to trick users into clicking on malicious links? Nope. Installing malicious software through a fake antivirus program? Exploiting a weak login credential? Targeting a group of individuals who frequent an unsecured third-party website to compromise their computers to gain access? It's that one. What social engineering attack relies on targeting individuals who frequent an unsecured third-party website and compromise? Yeah, they just really want to drill the watering hole into our brains. That's it. What social engineering technique involves the threat actor committing resources to accurately duplicate a company's logos, formatting, and communication style to make a phishing message or fake website visually compelling and convincing? Brand impersonation. Brand impersonation is a social engineering technique where the threat actor makes a significant effort to create a phishing message or a fake website that accurately duplicates a legitimate company's logos, formatting, and communication style. This level of detail makes the phishing attempt visually compelling and convincing to trick the targets into believing it was legitimate. An employee at a crypto security company receives an email that appears to be internal to the IT department. The email informs the employee to update the login credentials immediately to prevent account suspension. The form filled in this email displays IT support at cryptosecure.com. However, upon closer inspection, the employee notices the slightly misspelled domain name as crypto with a zero secure.com. Which technique is the threat actor using in this phishing attempt? So that's going to be typo squatting, because we are slightly changing it with the zero, and that's going to be, well, we got typo squatting, and it's either brand impersonation. Let me see. An employee of crypto security to be internal to the IT department. No, it's not brand impersonation. The form fields. So it's spoofing. The form field in the email displays that. However, upon close examination, you know what typo squatting is. That's like if somebody got the domain name youtubes.com with the S at the end rather than youtube.com. I think it's spoofing. I don't think it's farming, pretexting. Well, it might be pretexting because an employee update the login credentials immediately to prevent account suspicion. That might be a pretext. Why do I think it's a spoofing? Because it appears to be an internal to the IT department. So something's getting spoofed here. I don't think it's farming. I don't think it's... Well, let's see. It might be pretexting. Nope. It was not. The threat actor is using typo squatting by registering a domain name that is like a legitimate one, hoping users will not notice the difference and assume they receive emails from a known source. The scenario also involves spoofing by impersonating a trusted source, deceiving the target. The company's spoofed email address makes it appear as if the email came from the IT department. Yep. Employees at Cloudcom receive a suspicious email claiming to be from Cloudcom support, informing employees that their passwords need to be reset urgently due to a security breach. The email includes a link to a login page that looks identical to Cloudcom's official site. What type of social engineering attack does this scenario exemplify? Ooh. The email includes a link to a login page that looks identical to Cloudcom's official site. I don't think it's typo squatting. It might be a watering hole attack. It might just be phishing. What type of social engineering attack does this scenario exemplify? A link to a login page that looks identical to Cloudcom's... I think that's watering hole. Maybe it's typo squatting. This one we're going to get wrong, I think. Smishing? You think it's smishing? I don't think it's smishing. Smishing would be if they got a text. If it said employees at Cloudcom received a suspicious text, then it would be smishing. But it's an email. I just don't know if this page is considered a watering hole attack or a typo squatting. We're going with watering hole. Ah, I was typo squatting. A watering hole attack targets a specific group by compromising a website's visited by a target group. That's what I thought was happening. In this scenario, there is no indication of compromise. Ah, man. Yeah, me and you both. I need a break too, Brittany. Thanks for hanging out for a bit. I appreciate your company. And Dave, I appreciate Dave's company too. I think he left though. Dang, it was typo squatting. I don't know. Whatever. Social engineers are master manipulators. Which of the following are tactics they might use? Eavesdropping, ignorance and threatening, shoulder surfing, eavesdropping and keylogging, moral obligation, ignorance and threatening, keylogging, social surfing, and moral obligation. I feel like this one was the best. Oh, come on. Social engineers are master manipulators. Shoulder surfing is... Alright, whatever. It's moral obligation, ignorance, and threatening. Yeah, I guess that's more true tale to the stories. Social engineers are master manipulators. Some of the most popular tactics they use are moral obligation, innate human trust, threatening, and easy reward, and ignorance. Okay. Which of the following is an example of social engineering attacks? A call from a threat actor posing as a remote sales representative to obtain the login credentials to a remote access server from the help desk. A fake bank email is sent to recipients asking them to update their account info via a link that leads to a fake site capturing login details. An employee sends information to HR When an attacker secretly intercepts and manipulates the communication, an attacker floods a website with fake requests. I think it's this one. This one sounds like it's going to require a story. The example illustrates a social engineering attack where the threat actor deceives the help desk into providing sensitive information through a persuasive phone call. Okay. Thanks. Take your time. I'll probably still be here. I'm going to try to finish all 262, so it's going to take me a while. Okay, you decided to purchase a natural medication online based on testimonials. That's social proof. I feel like it's already social proof. Testimonials from several customers. Later, you hear from a news report that the company selling the product has been indicted for fraud. As part of the charges, the testimonials were found to be fake. Which of the following motivation techniques did the company use to entice you to purchase the natural medication? Social proof. Everybody's doing it. You're doing it too. Which of the following is the term used for creating media that looks and or sounds like something making statements that a person did not make? That would be deepfake. Which of the following is a term used for creating media that looks and or sounds like someone making statements? That sounds like deepfake. Deepfake creates media that looks and or sounds like someone making statements that the person did not make, or doing something in a picture or video that did not happen. Back in 2021, there was a lot of Elon Musk deepfake happening. Everyone's like, buy this coin, buy this crypto, buy this, and it was always Elon Musk's voice. An attack that targets senior executives and high-profile victims is referred to as whaling. Senior executives, high-profile victims, those are our whales in the company. We're just little salamanders while they're the whales. A threat actor poses as a remote sales representative and contacts the help desk of Cloud Secure. The threat actor claims to need assistance setting up remote access. Through a series of convincing phone calls, the threat actor obtains the name of the address of the remote access server and a login credential. What type of attack did this scenario illustrate? Social engineering. Very good job with your social engineering. You are cleaning your desk at work. You toss several stacks of paper in the trash, including a sticky note with your password written on it. Which of the following types of non-technical password attacks have you enabled? You've enabled the possibility of dumpster diving. So, dumpster diving relies on finding sensitive information that has been discarded in garbage cans, dumpsters, or other unsecured places that create access for attackers. Carl receives a phone call from a woman who states she is calling from his bank. She tells him that someone has tried to access his checking account, and she needs him to confirm his account number and password to discuss further details. He gives her his account number and password. Which of the following types of non-technical password attacks have occurred? That would be social engineering. He got tricked. The lady tricked him. Which of the following best describes shoulder surfing? That is when someone nearby watching you enter your password on your computer and recording it. Maybe. Guessing someone's password? No. Giving someone you trust your username? No. Finding someone's password in the trash? No. It's this one. You're surfing their shoulder and you're watching them doing it, and you have your recordable glasses on. Which social engineering technique involves the attacker intercepting... Which social engineering technique involves the attacker interacting with the user to trick them into revealing their username and password? User manipulation. User manipulation is the correct answer. In user manipulation, the attacker interacts directly with the user, often pretending to be someone they trust, to trick them into revealing their password and username and password. I saw a funny video online where people would go up to someone in the streets with a microphone. You know, this person has a microphone. They go up to a random person and be like, "We're talking about the security and passwords that we use. Could you tell us what your dog's name is?" And then they like say, "Quick, tell us the last what's your birth year or something," you know? Because like the lady was like, "Oh yeah, my password is my dog's name and my birth year, or like my graduation year." And then throughout the conversation, she got tricked into revealing both those information. Which type of application vulnerability can refer to software flaws associated with the timing or order of events within a software program, which can cause undesirable or unpredictable outcomes through manipulation? That would be race conditions. Application race condition vulnerabilities refer to software flaws associated with the timing or order of events within a software program, which can cause undesirable or unpredictable outcomes through manipulation. Holy shit, that's a lot of reading. You are the IT security manager at a large corporation. Your team has just discovered a significant vulnerability in the company's Linux-based server infrastructure. The vulnerability, if exploited, could allow an attacker to gain unauthorized access to sensitive data. Your team has identified a patch that can fix the vulnerability, but applying the patch will require significant downtime during peak business hours. What is the best course of action? Ignore the patch, since Linux is known for its security and the likelihood of the attack is low. Wait until off-peak hours to apply the patch to minimize business disruptions. Apply the patch immediately during business peak hours. No. Inform the senior management about the vulnerability and the potential impact of the patch on the business operations and ask for their decision. Well, that's a weird one. Maybe that one? Because now you're kind of creating a little team. But this one sounds like the right answer too. We'll go with this one. I feel like this one opens more doors. Informing the senior management about the vulnerability and the potential impact of the patch on business operations is the best option. As the IT security manager, it's your responsibility to inform senior management about the vulnerability, the potential impact of the attack, and the potential impact of the patch on business operations. This allows the senior management to make an informed decision about how to proceed, taking into consideration both the security risks and the potential business impacts. Large multinational corporation has recently discovered a significant vulnerability in their widely used operating systems. The vulnerability could potentially allow unauthorized remote access to sensitive corporate data. The corporation's IT team has been tasked with addressing this issue. Which of the following approaches would be the most effective in managing this vulnerability? Implement a patch to fix the vulnerability and conduct a thorough system-wide security audit. Ignore the vulnerability. You never want to ignore the vulnerability. Inform all employees about the vulnerability and ask them to be extra vigilant. That doesn't sound like it's doing anything. Disconnect all systems from the network until the new... Come on. Implementing a patch to fix the vulnerability is the most effective immediate response. This will close the security gap and protect the corporation's data. Conducting a thorough system-wide security audit will help identify any other potential vulnerabilities and ensure that the patch has been implemented correctly across all systems. You are the cybersecurity analyst at a tech company that develops mobile applications. Your team has been informed of a significant vulnerability that affects mobile operating systems. The vulnerability allows unauthorized remote access to sensitive user data. Which of the following operating systems should your team prioritize for patching and security updates based on the information provided? BlackBerry operating systems, Androids, iOS, or Windows Mobile? Windows Mobile. The vulnerability allows unauthorized remote access to sensitive user data, significant vulnerabilities that affect mobile operating systems. You are the tech company that develops mobile applications. Oh, there's really not that much information going on here. Which of the following operating systems should your team prioritize for patching and security updates based on, I guess, Android? iOS is proprietary, so your tech company probably doesn't do anything with iOS, unless if your tech company is Apple. So I'm going with Android. Android. Given the information provided in the question, the vulnerability affects mobile operating systems. Android is one of the most widely used mobile operating systems in the world. Therefore, prioritizing Android for patching and security updates would be the most effective strategy. BlackBerry OS, like Windows Mobile, has a smaller market. There's still Windows Mobile? What? Which of the following is subject to SQL injection attacks? Browsers that allow client-side scripts? Web servers servicing static content? ActiveX controls or database servers? I think it's this one. Oh, that's right. SQL databases, database servers. A SQL injection attack occurs when an attacker includes database commands within user data input fields in the form. That's where I got confused. Browser that allows client-side scripting, which subsequently execute on the server. The injection attack succeeds if the server does not properly validate the input to restrict the entry of characters that could end and begin database commands. SQL databases. I gotta remember that. SQL database. You have a website that accepts input from users for creating customer accounts. Input on the form is passed to the database server where the user account information is stored. An attacker is able to insert database commands in the input fields and have those commands execute on the server. So that would be SQL injection. We're still on the SQL databases. An attacker inserts SQL database commands into a data input field of an order form used by web-based applications. When submitted, these commands are executed on the remote database server, causing customer content information from the database to be sent to the malicious user's web browser. Which practice would have prevented this exploit? Input validation. Using the latest browser version and patch level, implementing client-side validation, installing antivirus, anti-spyware, pop-up blockers, and firewall software, implementing a script blocker. I think it's client-side validation, input validation. Client-side validation should have been used on the local system to identify input errors in the order form before the data was sent to the server. In this example, if the user entered SQL commands into the order form field, like where you would write your name and address and stuff, the error would have been immediately detected and blocked before the data was submitted to the server. Nice. Oh my gosh, we're almost at 100. In 2011, Sony was targeted by a SQL injection attack that compromised over 1 million emails, usernames, and passwords. Which of the following could have prevented this? Input validation, careful configuration and penetration testing, blocking or at least monitoring activity on ports 161, 162, scanning the operating system and application regularly for bugs and errors, or using VPN technology and protecting client data when connecting to remote systems. 161, 162, that is... that's SNMP. System Network Management Protocol. Blocking or at least monitoring activity? This one. Scanning the operating system for bugs and errors. Sony was targeted by a SQL. I don't don't think it has anything to do with this one. So the following could have prevented the attack. That wouldn't prevent the attack. Careful configuration penetration on the front end. I guess that one. Oh, penetration testing. Scanning the operating system. Careful configuration and penetration. Oh, careful configuration, dude. That's input validation. Why did I overread that? I was so focused on penetration testing that the answer was right here. Careful configuration. SQL injections are the result of which of the following flaws? The web server, the database, the file system, web application. I want to say the database, but maybe it's the web server, because you're not configuring the web server correctly, which is causing the input validation. I'm going with the web server. It might be the database. I don't know. Oh, it was the database again. SQL injections. I overthink these. The SQL injections happen when the SQL statement is entered in a field and gets executed in the database. Damn it. Which of the following functions does a single quote perform in an SQL injection? Indicates that the code is ending and that the comment is being entered. Indicates that everything after the single quote is a comment. Indicates that the comment has ended and the data is being entered. Indicates that data has ended and the comment is beginning. Oh my gosh. And command. I kept saying comment. It's command. Indicates that data has ended and the command is beginning. Indicates that the comment... Oh, I did say comment. Command. Indicates that the comment has ended and the data indicates everything after the single quote is a comment. Indicates that the code is ending and the comment is being entered. I have no idea. I'm going to go with this one. Nice. A single quote indicates that data has ended and the command is beginning. Which of the following is an attack that injects malicious scripts into web pages to redirect users to fake websites to gather personal information? That would be XSS, cross-site scripting. Cross-site scripting is an attack that injects scripts into web pages. When a user views the web page, the malicious scripts run, allowing the attacker to capture information or perform other actions. You are the IT manager at a large corporation. One of your employees has been using a public computer to access the company's internal systems. You notice that the employee has not been following best practices for enhancing browser privacy. Which of the following actions would be the most effective in preventing unauthorized access to sensitive company data? Turning off Remember Search and Form History, clearing the web browser cache, disabling all browser add-ons, or blocking all pop-up windows. A public computer to access the company's internal systems. I guess this one. Turning off Remember Search and Form History. Ah, what? Clearing the web browser cache. Which of the following actions would be the most effective in preventing unauthorized access to sensitive company data? Like, dude, if this dude's using a public computer, like, you really think he's going to clear the web browser cache every single time? He's too dumb. You might as well do something automatic by turning something off. He's not following best practices. Like, he's an idiot. Clearing the web browser cache is the correct answer. The web browser cache can store information such as username, passwords. I mean, yeah, that all makes sense. You might as well just train him to use incognito mode. because that dude ain't gonna be clearing the web browser cache every time. As a cybersecurity expert, you are tasked with advising a company on best practices for managing browser data to maintain security and privacy. Which of the following is the most crucial step to take? Regularly update the browser, only visit HTTPS websites, clear your private data regularly, or use incognito mode for all browsing. This is what you should have done for the last guy. Managing browser data to maintain security and privacy. You are tasked with advising a company on best practices. I guess clear your private data regularly. These all sound like really good answers. But that one sounds like the most like muscle memory answer. Clearing your private data regularly is the correct answer. Regularly clearing private data such as browser history, cookies, cached images, files helps prevent unauthorized access to this information and protect the user. Oh man, I gotta take a break. I need to take a small little break. I will be back. Ugh. Alright, let's see how much more I can finish. I want to get a burrito tonight. What time does the place close though? They close at 9. Closes 9 p.m. So this might be totally possible. Let's see. Ugh. All right. While using a web-based order form, an attacker enters an unusually large value in the quantity field. The value they entered is so large that it exceeds the maximum value supported by the variable type used to store the quantity in the web application. This causes the value of the quantity variable to wrap around to the minimum possible value, which is a negative number. As a result, the web application processes the order as a return instead of a purchase. and the attacker's account is credited with a large sum of money. Holy shit, I gotta write this down. Which practice would have prevented this exploit? Implementing server-side validation, installing the latest operating system updates, using the latest browser version and patch level, implementing client-side validation. I think it's those two. The dude just totally took advantage of, like, the calculator breaking. Client-side validation and server-side validation should have been used to identify input errors in the order form. In this example, if the user entered an invalid quantity in the order form, client-side validation would have detected and blocked it before the data was submitted to the server. Server-side validation should have also been used after the data was sent to the server to detect errors. Experienced attackers can circumvent client-side validation techniques by sending data to the server from outside the application's standard user interface, bypassing any input validation measures that may have been implemented on the client. Dude, I wish I was this smart enough to do something like that. A cyber consultant inspects a corporate desktop after receiving numerous complaints. What type of vulnerability can include instances where processors inside the computer allow malicious programs to steal data during processing? What? A cyber consultant inspects a corporate desktop after receiving numerous complaints. What type of vulnerability can include instances where processors inside the computer allow malicious programs to steal data during processing? Is that firmware? I don't really know what this question's asking. Firmware vulnerabilities include instances where processors inside the computer allow malicious programs to steal data during processing. Interesting. You are deploying a brand new router. After you change the factory default settings, what should you do next? Secure the configuration file, configure anti-spoofing rules, configure SSH to access the router configuration, or update the firmware. I guess update the firmware. Sounds like the most practical next step. After changing the default settings on the router, you should update the firmware. Updates to the firmware fix any vulnerabilities that have been resolved by the manufacturer in the past. After updating the firmware, you should configure the protocol used to connect to the router, which would be SSH. You are the IT director at a mid-sized company. The company's core business operations rely on a legacy system that has recently reached its end of life. Okay. The vendor no longer supports this system and it has known security vulnerabilities. However, transitioning to a new system would be costly and time-consuming. What is the best course of action? Immediately transition to the new system. No. Continuing using the EOL system and hope? You never want to hope. Ignore the end-of-life status. You never want to ignore. Develop a detailed transition plan that includes a cost-benefit analysis, risk assessment, and timeline for transitioning to a new system. That's the answer. That's why I'm paying you. I'm not paying you to ignore things and hope for things. Yeah, I don't feel like reading that one. A software engineer at a growing tech company identifies that some divisions in the organization still operate on legacy systems. The firmware for these systems has not seen updates in over a decade. The Chief Information Security Officer recognizes the immediate risks these outdated systems pose and decides to hold a training session. During the training, the software engineer asks about the main vulnerability of such systems. Given the context of the legacy and out-of-life system vulnerabilities, what is the primary risk of using firmware that has not received security updates, thus potentially exposing the system to breaches? The system may require frequent restarts due to firmware instability. The firmware becomes faster and more efficient. Unauthorized access becomes easier for potential attackers. The system can experience compatibility issues with newer software. Well, it's that one. Non-updated legacy firmware remains unprotected from patch designed to rectify known vulnerabilities, making it an inviting target for attackers who can exploit these weak spots to achieve unauthorized system access. What describes systems that create risk because they no longer receive critical security updates and patches? That would be legacy systems. Legacy systems is an outdated computing software or hardware still in use. Legacy systems genuinely receive no support or maintenance. A cyber technician works on a corporate laptop where an employee complains the software is outdated. What type of vulnerability describes continued use of outdated software, methods, technologies, computer systems, or application programs despite known shortcomings? What type of vulnerability? Would that be end of life or legacy? Like software is outdated. Continued use of outdated software, methods, technology, computer systems. I think legacy is a more broad term for all of this stuff, but I could be wrong. Let's see. Yes. An end-of-life system vulnerability includes instances where a specific product, yeah, exactly, specific product, where this is like kind of more of a broad term. Which of the following is an exploit in which malware allows the virtual operating system to interact directly with the hypervisor? Following exploit in which malware allows the virtual operating system to interact direct, that would be a VM escape. I think it's an escape. Yeah, virtual machine escape is an exploit in which malware allows the operating system within the virtual machine to break out and interact with the hypervisor. Evaluating the security risks tied to a company's virtualized environment, a network administrator relies on multiple virtual machines for service distribution throughout the infrastructure. The administrator's primary concern is a specific risk. An application compromised within a VM might interact with the host system and potentially propagate harmful activities. What strategy should the network administrator employ to mitigate this risk and guarantee the individual's VM's integrity and isolation in the company's virtualized environment? Establishing firewall rules, forcing user access controls, implementing network segmentation, or mitigating virtual machine escape? A VM might interact with the host system and potentially propagate harmful activities. So we're still talking about VM escapes here. Virtual machine escape is a critical security issue in a virtualized environment where an application, process, or user within the virtual machine can bypass the virtual machine's barriers and interact directly with the host. A cyber team presents a discussion on the use of sideloading and jailbreaking to a group of board members. Which of the following best describes sideloading? It provides the ability to share internet connectivity to other devices? No. It allows users to install unauthorized applications and customize device appearance and behavior? Yes. It is a method used to gain elevated privileges and access to system files on mobile devices? No. It does not undergo the same scrutiny and vetting process as those on unofficial application stores? Yes. It refers to the installation of applications from sources other than the official application store of the platform. Yes. Wait, I got 3 yeses here now. It refers to the installation of applications from sources other than the official application store of the platform. That would be sideloading. It allows users to install unauthorized applications and customize device appearance and behavior. It does not undergo the same scrutiny as the vetting process of those on official application stores. So let's take this one out and put it here. So this one sounds more opinion type. Let's see. Yeah. Sideloading refers to installing applications from sources other than the official app store or of the platform, such as Google's Play Store for Android or Apple's App Store for iOS. An IT administrator observes that a significant number of mobile devices within the organization has applications installed from outside the official app stores. Concerned about this security implications, the administrator decides to assess the vulnerabilities introduced by his practice. Which of the following best describes the process that allows users to install applications on their devices from sources other than official app stores, potentially exposing the device to malware or unauthorized data access? That would be sideloading. We just talked about that. Sideloaded. Software technician presents a forum on sideloading and jailbreaking to a group of new mobile users. Which of the following points will the technician include in their description of the use of jailbreaking? So let's see. Select 2. It refers to the installation of applications? No. It does not go. No. It is a method used to gain elevated privileges and access to system files on mobile devices? Yes. It allows users to install unauthorized applications and customize device appearance and behavior? I guess yes. Even though I thought that was sideloading, it provides the ability to share internet connectivity to other devices. No. I guess you could change your iOS into like an Android looking phone. I think it's those two. Yeah. Jailbreaking is a method used to gain elevated privileges and access to system files on mobile devices, unauthorized apps, customized device appearance and behavior, bypassing restrictions implemented by Apple. Jailbreaking is specifically for Apple. An IT security specialist at a mid-sized corporation observes a trend of unauthorized apps appearing on company-provided mobile devices. The specialist suspects the employees are either sideloading apps or have jailbroken their devices. What steps should the security specialist take to verify the cause of the unauthorized applications and reestablish proper security protocols? Implement a credential management policy. Purchase new mobile devices to replace all the current ones. That sounds expensive. Hire external IT consultants to manage mobile device usage. Well, that sounds lazy. Implement mobile device management policies to restrict unauthorized application installations. I like that one. Conduct a device audit to identify unauthorized applications. That one sounds good too. Let me see your phone. And then this one is let me control your phone. In a rapidly evolving IT environment, a cloud service provider offers various services to businesses, enabling them to store and process data securely. To enhance security, the provider regularly updates its systems and software. Despite these efforts, a security researcher discovers a previously unknown vulnerability in one of the cloud-specific applications, leaving customer data exposed to potential threats. In this scenario, which vulnerability is the security researcher likely to have found in cloud-specific applications? Sounded like 0-day. Discovers a previously unknown vulnerability in one of the cloud applications. Unknown vulnerabilities are 0-day, but I don't know what previously unknown. I mean, because he knows it. A zero-day vulnerability refers to security flaw previously unknown to the vendor or developer. The discovery of this previously unknown vulnerability aligns with the characteristics of zero-day vulnerabilities. In the context of information security, an organization discovers a zero-day vulnerability in its database software. At the same time, a known hacking group has expressed intentions to target entities using this specific software. Which of the following best describes the situation in relation to vulnerability, threat, and risk? The organization increases its risk of the security breach due to the threat and vulnerability. The organization conducts regular vulnerability assessments to maintain its security posture. Best describes this situation's relation to the vulnerability, threat, and risk. The organization mitigates the risk by improving physical security and firewall configurations. The organization hires an external cybersecurity firm to identify potential threats. Which of the following is the best describes this situation's relation? So there's a zero-day, there's a hacking group, and they're going to hurt us if we keep using it. The organization conducts regular vulnerability assessments to maintain its security posture. The organization mitigates the risk by improving physical security and firewall configurations. Maybe that one? The organization increases its risk of a security breach to the threat. I don't know, this question's weird. I think I'm going to go with this one. Oh, it was that one. The organization increases its risk of a security breach due to the threat and vulnerability. Which of the following best describes the situation? Zero-day. Hackers will hurt you. Best describes the situations. I don't know. This is a weird question. A major software vendor becomes aware of a new zero-day vulnerability in one of its products due to an anonymous tip. The vulnerability could potentially allow unauthorized access to sensitive data stored in the software. The vendor is currently creating a patch to address the issue. Which of the following best describes the current risk to the software users and the appropriate response from the software vendor? There is no risk to the users as long as the vendor does not disclose the vulnerability. Vendor should continue its usual operations? No. Since the vendor knows about the vulnerability, there is minimal risk. The vendor should alert all users about the vulnerability immediately to provide mitigation steps. The risk to the users is significant, and the vendor should quietly create a patch without informing the users until it's ready. I feel like it's that one. The risk to users is unknown, and the vendor should contact individual users to assess potential damages. I feel like it's this one, but there might be like a right to disclose information. Since the vendor knows about the vulnerability, there is minimal risk. Well, unauthorized access sensitive data stored in the software doesn't sound like minimal risks. The vendor should alert all users about the vulnerability. You don't want to tell people about it. I think it's this one. Yeah. Zero-day vulnerabilities represent significant risk, and the vendor should prioritize creating a patch. Disclosing the vulnerability to the public before a patch is ready could increase the risk. All information security analysts at a tech company reviews a security report outlining recent attack vectors against the company's systems. The analyst identifies potential risks related to unpatched software vulnerabilities still unknown to the vendor and risks associated with weak cryptographic algorithms. The analyst wants to prioritize these risks and decide on immediate remedial action. Based on the provided scenario, what best describes an unknown vulnerability in the software that the vendor has yet to discover or patch? Zero-day vulnerability. You made me read all that for zero-day vulnerability? Which of the following is a type of malware that prevents the system from being used until the victim pays the attacker money? That is ransomware. What is the primary function of crypto ransomware? It's to spread emails, no. Steal sensitive information. It's to create a backdoor. It's to encrypt files on an infected system and demand a ransom for the decryption key. What kind of malware provides an attacker with administrative control over a target computer through a backdoor? That would be remote access control, or RAT. The others can be used in conjunction with a RAT, but they do not provide remote access control. In 2001, a worm exploited vulnerabilities in Microsoft's Internet Information Services to infect over 2,500,000 systems in under 9 hours. What was this worm called? What? I need to know what the worm was called? Dude, this is totally not going to be on my exam. This is weird. Code red. Michelangelo, Nimda, Melissa. This is not going to be on my exam. Okay, whatever, I got it right. The worm was known as Code Red, replicated across the internet with incredible speed using vulnerability. That's a weird question. Which of the following best describes spyware? It is a program that attempts to damage a computer? Nah. It is a malicious program disguised as a legitimate one? Nah. It monitors users' actions that denote personal preferences and then sends pop-ups and ads to the user that match those tastes? Yeah. It monitors the actions that you take, sends the information back. Monitors the actions you take on your machine and sends the information back to its original source? Nah. Oh, what? Oh, dude, that was adware. I got adware and spyware mixed up. Spyware, yeah, this is spyware. Spyware monitors, I got adware mixed up with spyware. I'm an idiot. It monitors the actions you take on your machine and sends the information back to its originating source. That is spyware, definitely. Adware is the one that sends pop-ups and ads. Which type of malware is software installed alongside a package selected by a user or bundled with new computer systems? That would be bloatware. That's when you download something and they say, well, you got to download this and this and this too. Which viruses operates only in memory and usually exploits a trusted application like PowerShell to circumvent traditional endpoint security solutions? Would that be fileless malware? It's like running scripts. Fileless malware operates only in memory. Yeah, because there's no file, it's just memory. Detection by traditional endpoint security solutions that are focused on matching signatures to files that have been written to the hard drive. Man, could you imagine being like a cool dude who can like make those? Oh, fuck. I want another break. I want another break. Let's try to get to 1:30. Let's try to get to 1:32. I'm going to take a break. That'll be half. Which of the following describes a logic bomb? A type of malicious code similar to viruses whose primary purpose is to duplicate itself and spread? No. Program that has no useful purpose but attempts to spread? No. A program that performs malicious activity at a specific time or at a triggered event? Yes. Not even going to read the last one. I know it's that one. Gosh, there's so many questions. There's not enough answers. This is crazy, dude. I might have to make a part 2 on this because I am getting tired. Last one we did was 196. I'd be so close to done right now, but I still have 262. Might have to do a part 2. What differentiates a logic bomb from other types of malware? Logic bombs are always visible to the user? No. Wait, logic bombs from other types of malware. Logic bombs are associated with ransomware. Logic bombs can only affect network systems. Logic bombs can only be triggered by a specific event or condition. Final answer. Brittany! I'm doing alright. I am kind of losing my mind here. I'm losing my mind, Brittany. I might have to do a part 2 on this because this is a lot of questions. And I want to go buy a burrito. I deserve a burrito today. How you doing? Doing anything cool this weekend? Let me bring up the test. I'm doing pretty good though. I've only gotten like, I don't know, out of 129, maybe I gotten like 15 wrong so far. Getting burnt out, eh? Yeah, I'm getting burnt out. I need to change places. I just don't even feel like sitting in this chair anymore, let alone taking a test. Which of the following are characteristics of a rootkit? Resides below regular antivirus software detection, collects various types of personal information, uses cookies, no. Requires administrator level privileges, yes. Monitors users' actions and pop-ups, no. This one. It's gotta be those two. Yeah. A rootkit is a set of programs that allow attackers to maintain hidden, permanent, administrator-level access to a computer. A rootkit is almost invisible software, which is crazy to think about. Resides below regular antivirus software detection, which is also crazy to think about. Requires administrative privileges for installation and then maintains those privileges to allow subsequent access, which is crazy. It's like you mess up one time installing something, that's it. You just gave somebody the keys to your whole database. Might not be malicious. Might not be malicious. Well, that's interesting. Often replaces operating system files with alternative versions that allow hidden access. So crazy. Rootkits are insane. Ooh. Nothing planned. It's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. Yeah, burritos. I need a burrito. I think in about 40 minutes I'm gonna call it quits. I don't know what number I'll be at, but about 40 minutes I'm gonna just have to do a part 2. I just had a burrito bowl last night. Nice. That's what I want to get. I want to get a burrito bowl. You have installed antivirus software on your computers, on your network. You update the definition and engine files and configure the software to update those files every day. What else should you do to protect your systems from malware? Enable account lockout, schedule regular full system scans. I like that one. Disable user access control. You wouldn't want to do that. Educate users about malware or enable chassis intrusion detection. On the computers on your network. I guess educating users, because we're talking about multiple computers on a network. Educate people. It's got to be educate people. Yep. Yes, that's exactly where I'm going to go. That's exactly where I'm going to go, Brittany. I'm going to go get some Moe's. Where are you? What state are you in where you have Moe's too? Are you in the southern western area? Which of the following malware recovery techniques is often faster and more effective than malware removal and cleanup of an infected computer? Block specific executable files, re-imaging the computer, enabling privacy controls, or remove removable drives. Just re-imaging the computer. Like, you fucked up once, just re-image it. Oh, you're in the northeast? I'm in the southeast. I'm in Florida. Reimage a machine of your organization uses image solutions. Reimaging or installing from scratch is often the fastest and more effective. Yeah, like why would you waste your time like hunting down the malware files and deleting them when you just say fuck it, reimage everything, recover from backup. To prevent malware infection in your network's system, you decide that it's critical to prevent malware attacks such as ransomware and phishing by restricting access to site that might be malicious. Which of the following best represents this type of preventative technique? That would be web filters. Don't go to the sites. Filter the webs. I got a steak bowl last night. So good. Oh yeah. That's what I'm getting. Well, no, I'm going to get a chicken bowl. I'm going to get me a white meat chicken. I'm in Mass, but I'm originally from Connecticut. Cool. Is it still cold up there? We finally got rid of our cold weather. Anything below 70 is cold to us Floridians. Now we're officially in spring, and it's awesome. I love spring. All right. Wait, I answered this one, right? Yeah, web filters. If an SMTP, a send mail to people server, is not properly and securely configured, it can be hijacked and used maliciously as an SMTP relay agent. Which activity does this result if this happens? That'd be spamming. Data diddling? What the hell is data diddling? Virus hoax? Salami attack? What the hell are these? I think it's spamming, but what is a data diddling? Data diddling is changing information during input, processing, output, or storage. You're diddling the data. A salami attack is an attack where small amounts of information, data, or valuables are taken over a period of time. The result is the construct or obtain data or property of great value. Oh, it's like stealing a little bit at a time. I gotcha. Is to deposit fractions of cents from an accounting program into a numbered account. Eventually, the fraction deposits total significant sum. Wow, I never thought that was called salami attack. Salami attack is like taking cookies from the cookie jar, but taking just little bits and pieces of the cookie. And then at the end, you got all the cookies. Yes, we had snow the other night, and I'm over it. I want to move to the south eventually. Well, get your butt down here. Get your butt on down here. Yeah, I know, a data diddler. I should put that on my resume. I'm a data diddler. I'm really good at diddling data. Which type of malicious activity can be described as numerous, unwanted, and unsolicited email messages sent to a wide range of victims? That would be spamming again. An attacker sends an unwanted and unsolicited email message to multiple recipients with an attachment that contains malware. What kind of attack has occurred in this scenario? Reputation attack? I think it's spam still. I think we're still on spam. Yeah, we're still on spam. Spam can be benign, such as emails trying to sell products. Spam can be malicious, such as emails containing phishing content, drive-by downloads, or malware. Whoa, I like that saying, drive-by downloads. Can contain malware as attachments, wastes bandwidth, and could fill an inbox, resulting in denial of service conditions. Wow, dude, I don't know. Something about me wants to screenshot this because that all sounds crazy. Reputation attack. The attack accesses your email server and sends spoofed emails to others, making them appear as if they came from you. What? I'm gonna write that down. Reputation attack. My aunt lives near Tampa. I may go visit sometime this year. I wanted to come back though. Nice. I'm in South Florida. My goal is to move to Tampa because Tampa is kind of more up and coming. It's still building its infrastructure. So there might be more opportunity for like home ownership and just like owning land and stuff like that. But here in South Florida, it's like the Wild West. Like it's so impossible to get any type of real estate at my age. Like it's all so unaffordable. And everybody's like paying like ridiculous amounts in rent. And you know what I mean? Like I'd rather just move up to like northern Florida or like Tampa or just somewhere a little bit less populated where people are a little bit more like, yeah, this would be a lot cheaper to live, you know? What type of RFID tag can send a signal over a long distance? Well, it's not NFC. It's not Bluetooth. Well, it might be Bluetooth. Wait, an RFID tag can send a signal over a long distance. I don't know. Active? What type of RFID tag can send a signal over a long distance? Active RFID. Final answer. Active RFID tags have onboard batteries and can send signals long distances. Road toll passes and other types of passes use active RFID. Passive RFID is not powered and relies on the energy of the scanner to transmit. Oh. These tags are seen in ID badges, credit cards, and similar devices. Interesting. You want to visit... How do I... What? I don't even know how to say that. Isla Morada and Devonport Street. Where's that? I don't even know. Is that like a hotspot? Like a tourist hotspot? Isla Morada. Ooh, it's like, oh, it's like a, where is this? Is this the Keys? Oh yeah, this is the Keys. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been to the Keys. As the head of physical security at a large tech company, you have been tasked with investigating a series of unauthorized entries into secure areas of your facilities. Uh-oh. The intrusions have been sporadic and seemingly random, with no clear pattern or motive. The intruders have been caught on camera, and no physical damage or theft has been reported. However, you notice that the access logs shows entries made using the credentials of employees who were not on site at the time of the incident. Which of the following is most likely the method the intruders are using to gain access? Well, Brittany, how did you gain access to this building? Because we caught you. You were on camera. You were using RFID cloning, weren't you? You sneaky, sneaky person with your RFID cloners. A major online retail company has recently been experiencing intermediate downtime of its websites. Network analysts observe a massive influx of traffic from multiple sources to the server. However, the traffic seems redirected from other systems. What type of attack is occurring? That sounds like a distributed denial of service. In this scenario, distributed denial of service attacks align with the influx of traffic from multiple sources causing downtime. Threat actor has initiated an attack against the company's network. The threat actor is exploiting a weakness in a specific application protocol, manipulating the requests in such a way that targets is forced to respond with a large amount of data, thereby consuming a significant amount of the target's bandwidth. That would be an amplified attack. Let me just read that again. Manipulating the rest in such a way that the target is forced to respond with a large amount of data, thereby consuming a significant amount of target's bandwidth. No, wait. In a specific application protocol, manipulating the request. I think it's amplified. It might be reflective. I don't know. Let's see. It's amplified. Amplified attacks is the correct answer. An amplification attack targets weaknesses in specific applications protocols to make the attack more effective in consuming target bandwidth. The threat actor manipulates the request in such a way that targets is forced to respond with large amounts of data. Which is exactly what is described in this scenario. Let me read reflective really quick. Reflective attack is incorrect. Involves the threat actor spoofing the victim's IP address and using third-party servers to direct responses to the victim's host. This scenario does not mention the use of third-party servers or IP addresses. Oh, okay. So amplified is like you getting doxxed online and everybody sending pizzas to your address, where reflective is everybody calling, pretending to be you, and then sending pizzas to your address. I gotcha. It's okay, I did it too. We both got caught. Large amount, amplified. Yes, exactly. That's what I thought too, but sometimes they get a little tricky on you with these questions. Threat actor has launched an attack against the company's network. The threat actor spoofs the victim's IP address and attempts to open connections with multiple third parties. That's reflective. Those services direct their responses to the victim's host, rapidly consuming the victim's available bandwidth. That's reflective. Which type of denial of service attack occurs when a name server receives malicious or misleading data that incorrectly maps the host names and IP addresses? That sounds like DNS poisoning. When a name server, like a domain name systems, it's like they really didn't want to put domain here, receives malicious or misleading data that incorrectly maps or hosts IP addresses. I think that's DNS poisoning. Yes, DNS poisoning occurs when a name server receives malicious or misleading data that is incorrectly maps the host names to IP addresses. While using the internet, you type the URL of one of your favorite sites in the browser. Instead of going to the correct site, the browser displays a completely different website. When you use the IP address of the web server, the correct site is displayed. What type of attack is that? That is also DNS poisoning. An attacker uses an exploit to push and modify host files to client systems. This host file redirects traffic from legitimate tax preparation sites to malicious sites to gather personal and financial information. Which kind of exploit is being done here? I mean, that's also DNS poisoning. Modified host files. That would be the DNS query on your operating system. Thus, DNS poisoning. Domain name knitting. What is that? Domain name knitting occurs when spammers exploit domain registration by taking advantage of the 5-day grace period for a newly registered domain name to acquire domains and never pay for the registration of domain names. The hell? What the hell is that? I've never learned that. A company CEO is upset after receiving a call from a reporter at a local news station that the company is apparently at a launching point for a massive attack. The reporter provided detailed IP logs and the network team reviewed them but could not find similar entries. What could be a possible explanation for the different records? DNS attack indicators, DNS poisoning, DNS client cache poisoning, or DNS based on path attack? Oh gosh, I don't know. Receiving a call from a reporter at a local news station that the company is apparently at a launching point for a massive attack. Reporter by detailed logs. You think it's just DNS poisoning? DNS attack indicators, DNS poisoning, DNS cache client poisoning, DNS based on path attack. The reporter provided detailed IP logs and the network team reviewed them but could not find similar entries. DNS cache poisoning or DNS client cache poisoning? Yeah, let's just go with DNS poisoning. You were right! You were right! Nice job. DNS poisoning is such a weird way of saying DNS poisoning. There's an attack in which an attacker appears to be coming, the network traffic appears to be coming from another location to confuse the company looking for an infection that does not exist. That's such a tricky question because they're saying here the reporter provided detailed IP logs, but those IP logs were fake. Very tricky question. A router on the border of your network detects a packet with a source address that is from an internal client, but the packet was received on the internet-facing interface. What is this an example? This is an example of which form of attack? Sounds like spoofing. Something got spoofed there, because you'd think it's coming internally, but it was actually coming from internet. This is an example of spoofing. Spoofing is the act of changing or falsifying information in order to mislead or redirect traffic. In this scenario, a packet received on the inbound interface cannot receive a valid packet with a stated source that it's from the internal network. A threat actor has successfully manipulated a client's DNS cache, causing the client to resolve domain names to the incorrect IP address controlled by the threat actor. This allows the threat actor to redirect the client's network traffic to malicious websites. Which type of attack does this scenario represent? On path, client cache poisoning. I think it's client cache poisoning. Man in the middle. No. I think it's client cache poisoning. Client cache poisoning is the correct answer. Client cache poisoning involves a threat actor manipulating a client's DNS cache, causing the client to resolve domain names to incorrect IP addresses. Do you think you'd pass the test? I don't know. You're getting some of them right. You may very well be a hacker, for all I know, Brittany. Maybe you're a hacker and you're just keeping it on the down low. Which of the following is the term used to describe what happens when an attacker sends falsified messages to link their MAC address with their IP address of a legitimate computer or server on the network? That would be, it might be ARP poisoning, it might be MAC spoofing. Wait, it's when an attacker sends falsified messages to link their MAC address to an IP address of a legitimate computer. That is address resolution protocol poisoning. Don't tell me it's MAC spoofing. Okay, good. MAC spoofing is kind of close. It's done to enable the bypass of access control lists on servers or routers by either hiding a computer on a network or by allowing it to impersonate another network device. Gotcha. Which of the following attacks tries to associate an incorrect MAC address with a known IP address? That would be ARP poisoning, again. The network administrator suspects an attacker is intercepting and potentially modifying communications between their organization server and the client systems. The attacker is not detected by either party during the process. Which type of attack is the network administrator likely observing in this instance? Intercepting and potentially modifying communication sounds very on-pathy. Sounds on-path attack. An on-path attack involves an attacker intercepting and potentially modifying communications between two parties who believe their communication directly with each other. threat actor has positioned themselves in the communication path between two parties in a network. It's on path. The threat actor is intercepting and possibly altering the communication between two parties without their knowledge. What type of attack does this scenario present? On path. That is technically a man-in-the-middle attack too, but that's kind of weird that they would put man-in-the-middle and on-path attack here. Let's see what they say about man-in-the-middle. While man-in-the-middle attack does involve intercepting and possibly altering communications, it typically involves the threat actor actively impersonating one or both parties to deceive. Oh. The scenario does not mention impersonation. I thought they were just throwing... I don't know. I may be a little nerdy, but far from a hacker. This is a refreshing break from the drinking community. Yeah. True that. You are a cybersecurity analyst at a tech company. You have noticed some unusual activity on a host within your network. You suspect that the host may be compromised and running malicious code. Which of the following indicators would most likely suggest that the host is compromised? The host is showing signs of credential dumping, the host is showing signs of pivoting, lateral movement, the host is showing signs of shell code execution, or the host is showing signs of persistence mechanisms. Some usual activity on the host while you're on your network. Running malicious code. Host, you suspect that the host may be compromised and running malicious code, so the host is showing signs of shellcode execution. The host is showing signs of credential dumping. Credential dumping is the correct answer. It is a clear sign of a compromised host. Malware often tries to access the credential files or sniff credentials held in memory by the system processes. This is a strong indicator of malicious activity and is more definitive than other options. Okay, I don't know. Can't get them all. In which phase of an attack does the attacker gather information about a target? That would be the reconnaissance phase. Reconnaissance is the phase of an attack where an attacker is gathering information about a target. This can be done electronically using scanning tools or even physically by going through dumpsters. You've decided to secure your system network by including several layers of security. What other defense methodologies is recommended that you should incorporate to these defense layers in your enhanced securities? Principles of least privilege, variety of methods, simplicity, randomness. I would say principles of least privilege. No, it was variety of methods. Oh, yeah. You don't want to have the same password within your defense of death. You want to have different, different ways of protecting your thing. Like how in movies they got first you start off with the passcode, and then you got to get past the lasers, and then you have to get past the glass that's holding the jewel or whatever. That would be variety of methods. Besides securing your system network by including layers of security, the defense layers should incorporate a variety of methods. Yeah, that makes sense. You were lurking in Ren's last night? He had me. Yeah, Ren was being kind of silly last night. He was all mad at me because I didn't heart his comment. Oh, poor baby. Nah, you're not distracting me. You're cool. I need a bit of a distraction. This gets a little bit overwhelming sometimes, so I don't mind taking a break and feeling human, talking to someone. But yeah, Ren was funny last night. He was a funny guy. Varieties of methods. Remember, when you're setting up defense in depth, you want variety of methods. I think I'm going to try to get to about 190. Maybe, no, gosh. I still have 45 more if I go to 190. I don't know. I'm going to be ending at some point soon and doing a part 2. Which command should you use to display listening and non-listening sockets on your Linux system? Enter the command as if it's a command. I don't know. I have zero idea what this is. Listening and non-listening sockets. SIP. I have zero idea. Is it SIP? Oh, it's netstat A. I don't freaking know. I don't think there's going to be too many Linux questions on this exam. Oh no, another one? Which command should you use to scan for open TCP ports on your Linux systems? Alright, we're going with netstat dash R. No, yeah, R. Nmap.st. No, I don't know. You need to increase the security of your Linux system by finding and closing open ports. Which of the following commands should you use to locate open ports? Well, we just talked about it. Nmap. What does the nstat A command do? We already talked about that too. All listening sockets. Oh, that's right. All listening and non-listening sockets. Fuck. Yeah, you heard his fees. I know. Nah, we're cool now. He's just got something going on with somebody else, and he can't handle the pain, so he wants to just take a break from my channel, because apparently that person might come back at some point. I have no idea, but we're still cool. I'd never get the non-multiple choice questions. Me neither. I knew I wasn't going to get those right. Oh no, here's another one. You want to make sure no unneeded software packages are running on your Linux server. Select the command from the drop-down. Oh, drop-down. That you can use to see all installed RPM packages. I would use yum list RPM installed. Yeah. Oh no, I got it wrong. It was yum list installed. A threat actor has successfully breached a company's network and has installed malicious code on a compromised host. The threat actor is now operating the compromised host remotely and maintaining access to it over a period of time. The threat actor activity is disguised as part of the network's regular traffic. Detection of this type of activity usually depends on identifying anomalous connection endpoints. Which stage of the cyber attack lifecycle does this scenario represent? Wait, what? Which stage of the cyber attack lifecycle? Weaponization, delivery, and breach, command and control? Yeah, I think we're in the command and control phase still, right? Yeah. Command and control is the correct answer. In this stage, the threat actor operates a compromised host remotely and maintains access to it over the period of time. The threat actor has to disguise the incoming command and outgoing beaconing activity as part of the network's regular traffic, which is exactly what is described in this scenario. Any plans for this weekend? I might go to like a party. There's a party happening tomorrow. I might go do that. I'm going to do some more of this studying. I got 2 more days off till my spring break is over. Then I got to go back to work on Monday. But nothing crazy. No crazy plans. It's actually raining right now, so this might mess up my plans to go get a burrito. No crazy plans. I might work on my Patreon too. Just for the heck of it. Actually, I'm kind of making these videos for the Patreon, if the people want to watch it. A threat actor is attempting to learn passwords or cryptographic secrets that will allow them to obtain authenticated access to network systems. They are using various techniques to gather this information without yet having breached the network. That would be the reconnaissance phase. No breach. Oh, it might be credential harvesting. Wait a minute. No, reconnaissance. Which stage of the cyber attack lifecycle does this scenario represent? Gather information without having breached the network. It's got to be reconnaissance. Oh, it was credential harvesting. Credential harvesting is the correct answer. In this stage, the threat actor attempts to learn passwords and cryptographic secrets that will allow them to obtain authenticated access to the network systems. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Oh, yeah. You can hear the rain? You can actually hear that? So far, we've done 100 questions. No, 162 questions. What am I saying? We have 100 left. Oh, man. All right, let's try to get to 170, and then I'm going to call it. As a security analyst at a large corporation, you have been tasked with implementing physical device port hardening techniques to reduce potential avenues of physical attacks. You are considering several techniques to accomplish this task. Which of the following would be the most effective method to prevent unauthorized data transfer, installation of malicious software, or direct access to a system? Implementing port control software, leveraging settings in a device's firmware or UEFI BIOS, disabling unnecessary physical ports such as USB, HDMI, serial ports, or disabling the automatic network connection feature. What are we doing? Which of the following would be the most effective method to prevent unauthorized data transfers, installation of malicious software, or direct access to a system? Well, serial ports would be data transfers. Installation of malicious software could be USB. Or direct access could be serial ports. Leveraging settings in device firmware. Disabling the automatic network connection feature. Implementing port control software. Maybe it's port control software. Yeah. You go with port control? Yeah, me too, I think. I think it's port control software. Unauthorized. You've been tasked with implementing physical device port hardening techniques. I think it's port control. Ah, dude, it was leveraging settings in device firmware. Leveraging settings in device firmware or UEFI BIOS is the most effective method. It allows you to establish physical ports or require a password before the device can boot from a non-standard source like a USB drive. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. This can prevent unauthorized data transfers, installation of malicious softwares. Yeah. That one went right over my head, but it makes sense. As a network administrator, you are tasked with implementing measures to secure and control access to logical ports within your organization's computer system. You are considering several strategies to accomplish this. Which of the following would be the most effective method to protect logical ports? Regularly updating software, implementing service hardening practices, implementing firewalls, or using secure protocols for data exchange? This one. It's got to be that one. Implementing firewalls, logical ports, might be firewalls. Yeah, implementing firewalls. Implementing firewalls is the most effective method for protecting logical ports. They examine network traffic and enforce security policies to allow or block specific connections based on port numbers, source, destination, address, and all those goodies. As a cybersecurity analyst, you are tasked with enhancing the endpoint security of your organization's network. You are considering several strategies to accomplish this task. Which of the following would be the most effective method to control incoming and outgoing network traffic to detect potential attacks? That sounds like firewall. Regularly conducting penetration testing, implementing host-based firewalls and intrusion prevention systems with default deny policies. It's got to be that one. Yep. A cybersecurity analyst is trying to discover why a web application's interpreter executes unintended commands. The analyst notices that the attack involves sending untrusted data to an interpreter as part of the command or query. What does the analyst suspect is happening? I guess a replay attack. Web application. I don't know. Replay? It was an injection. Injection attacks involve sending untrusted data to an interpreter as part of a command or query. This data tricks the interpreter into executing unintended commands, potentially allowing unauthorized access to data. Which of the following is specifically meant to ensure that a program operates on a clean, correct, and useful data? Input validation, process spawning, application hardening, error, and exception handling. Oh gosh, I don't know, dude. I'm getting so burnt out. I think I'm just gonna call it after this one. Error and exception handling or input validation. That a program operates on a clean, correct, and useful data. Error and exception handling. Fuck, it was input validation. Input validation is the process of ensuring that a program operates on a clean, correct, and useful data. Yeah, I guess so. Yep, you were right, Brittany. It was input validation. I think I'm gonna call it. I've been doing this for 3 hours. It's 8 o'clock. I'm gonna go take a shower and get my burrito. But I think we did good. 167. I'm just gonna do the rest offline, and then next time I live stream, we'll do domain 3. But yeah, I can't go to 262. I'm so burnt out. Yeah, it's burrito time. I think I deserve a burrito. Ugh. Thanks for hanging out with me, Brittany, and thanks for tagging along on some of these questions. I appreciate your company. And yeah, I think I'm out of here. So take it easy. Have a great weekend if I don't see you. And I'll see you another time, maybe at Ren's live stream or Kyle's or somebody. All right. Have a good night. See ya. Cowboy Squirrel signing out. Adios.